So another thing that we typically talk about in late to mid-August is, well, what's it going to yield and on the corn? Like we talked about in soybeans, it's a little bit easier to do that in corn because you can do kernel counts, numbers of rows around each ear, the length of ear, and we typically talk about 600 kerneled ears as the average. However, this year is a really good example between hybrids. You can see this from how it pollinated. So here on my left hand, you can see an ear that pollinated fairly well all the way out to the tip. And then you see another one that maybe not quite as well. This is, again, a product of the environment at pollination. Didn't get enough pollen to drop onto those silks to fill it out. Combined with a little bit drier weather, you can see differences in how well it pollinated. Again, this is one snapshot on the edge of a field. Does that mean it's going to be bad all over? Absolutely not. But you can see differences as far as how certain hybrids pollinate. One thing that we have visited about a little bit already is how dry weather impacts test weight. So test weight typically is 56 pounds per bushel. My suspicion is that this year it'll be somewhat less than that. Plants have prematurely shut down, and usually that allows the kernels not to put as much starch into those kernels and consequently mean that the test weight will be a little bit less. So it bears watching, but typically, just real quick, how you can calculate what your estimate is. You count the number of rows around the butt of the cob, the kernel length from the base of the ear all the way out to the tip. You multiply those together times what your final stand is. So let's just say your final stand count in 30-inch rows, 17.5 linear feet is 30,000. So your number of rows around the butt of the cob, the number of kernels per row, times your stand of 30,000. You divide that by, typically, if it was 56-pound corn, you try to divide it around 80,000. If you did it like I would suspect this year, you want to divide by maybe 90 or 95,000 because the test weight will be a little bit lighter. Now, that's going to get you in a range. That's not going to be exact because the data from that calculation is only a sample of what it truly is across the whole field. If you really wanted to dial in on this, I would do probably, in say an 80-acre patch, I'd do at least 10 to 12 of those to kind of get a better idea, which is fairly labor intensive if you're truly looking at what it's going to be. That one calculation will probably get you within 15% plus or minus. So I want to kind of give you a little update on that and what to look for as we go through August.